And I wanted to invite DL up here, who lives at one of the Mission Bay encampments that are piloting this right now. And I just wanted to give him the opportunity to speak a little bit about life in a tent versus life in a shelter like this that has a door that locks. And then also the piece about working with DPW and the willingness and maybe even the challenges that come with that. So DL, thank you for coming and being part of this.
First, I want to thank you guys for having me and affording me the opportunity to be able to voice this experience. And I always like to start out by saying that I look at my circumstances, fully taking responsibility for why I'm in this particular circumstance, for things, for bad decisions I made in the past or whatever. So, you know, I got no problem with having ownership of that. No one owes me nothing, and I understand that the average encampment is like an eyesore for the community. It's crime, and you know, I mean, realistically speaking, you know, it's. I understand when the public looks upon one of those situations like, you know, like get a job or whatever. You know what I mean? So, but every one of those encampments isn't, you know, just like content with that, or you know, just want to be there. You know what I mean? For whatever reasons, what individuals there, I've met all sorts of people that's in the circumstances under the circumstances they're under because of things that they did, and it varies. And you'll be surprised at some of the things that put people in those situations. You know what I mean? It could almost be said like you never know. It could be you, but you know, it's like I could go on and tell you about all my experiences out there and the things that took place and all that, but this is not what this is about. This is about trying to take the situation where it is right now and move it forward in a way that's you know, fair to everyone, the communities. You know what I mean? I understand the complaints. I do my part in trying to discourage criminal activities. You know, where I'm camped at, whatever. You know what I mean? But there's always fluctuates because you may get moved from here to there and all that. You know, people got to go somewhere. So, you know, and at the end of the day, we're on the sidewalk, so you can't just tell people, you can't be here and all that, because you know they're not, you know, like-minded, you know, want to, you know, move forward. Some people are content with just being out here like that. Some people is just like basking in the opportunity not to have to pay rent and or have a responsibility. Like, I don't have to do nothing. I don't even have to get at no particular time. And San Francisco is full of resources. I can go eat. I can go do whatever. You know, so that's a reality too. You know what I mean? But me, myself, you know, as I get older, I'm like, you know, growing into the understanding that, you know, I want a decent life. You know, I want a decent living. I don't think I've really, you know what I mean, as an adult, you know what I mean, gave myself opportunity to have that, you know what I mean, with the exception of like little bouts of, you know, but my determination is really high right now, you know, based upon meeting new people like Amy and having an opportunity to look at things from a different perspective, you know what I mean? And so I don't see it like us versus y'all and all that. I just want to know, like, what can I do, first and foremost, as an individual, because, I mean, the crisis is here. It's a reality. They ain't going to go away unless somebody, you know, put work in to make it go away, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of people, like, in the encampments that's willing to put their work in, you know? And it's just to hear somebody, just to have opportunity to speak to somebody. I never thought this would happen. And if it was presented to me, I would be reluctant because I wouldn't trust it. But now I'm beginning to be more open, and I'm beginning to see that a lot of people care about the things that's going on around them, and I really appreciate that. So about this structure, I recall like growing up, like, you know, I wasn't always on the street, you know what I mean? But it's been quite some time since I've been out here, you know, and sometimes I've had to be creative. A tent when he was available, so you had to get, like, you know, build structures, or build something, or get a tarp, or whatever. Now, the elements, you got to run from these elements. So prior to me moving into this structure, I was in a tent. You know, the tent was cool. I tried to make it as luxurious as possible. I got all of those things. You know what I mean? But, you know, because I'm still trying to maintain as much normality as I can. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't just sit around in the structure all day just waiting for, you know, me, I'm the type, like, whatever that I have or possessions that I have, if I have something to do that's important, then I'm just going to leave that to chance, you know what I mean? Because that's like I shouldn't be under these circumstances anyway. So if I lose it, I'll just lose it. You know what I mean? But my willingness to keep moving forward, you know what I mean? It outweighs what I may lose. But some people hold dear to heart the things that they have. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, the majority of the time when they come up missing is the person right next to you, or the person who's in the same situation you're in. It's like the oppressed oppressing the oppressed. So in those situations can get very dangerous. You know what I mean? You know, just you know, I've seen lives being taken, but for little things. But to everybody else, it may appear to be that way. But to the person, the individual, they don't see it that way. You know what I mean? So at any given time, anything can take place. So you got to stay in a state of being prepared. You know what I mean? And so moving into this structure, it brought about a sense of security. You know, even though it's just like some people say at the end of the day, it's just a box. But this structure has like shelves where I can like make a cover. You know what I mean? Like I could just I could just start grasping back to what I remember. Like
so, it has a little bed fold out, and it's built in with some shelving for storage.
So
And
generally, what's the size?
It's 5 by 8 by 8, but on a trailer it'll be 5 by 8 by 10. And we were talking about how there's rats out there. And
yeah,
so,
in this particular
but the structure protects people from rats. So let's just start there. This isn't a third world country. This is San Francisco, and people are having rats trying to get at them, and they come in the tents. People set your tent on fire before.
Yeah, I've had various encounters. You know, I lost my eye out here. You know, and all this is due to, like I said, once again, I can't emphasize enough. Like, had I not been in that situation, you know, because had I been doing what I was supposed to have been doing, you know what I mean? Because my upbringing didn't instill this in me. You know what I mean? It's like somewhere along the line I went astray. You know what I mean? Some from misinformation from people that I looked up to or whatever. But those are all the things that's irrelevant. Now that I see things from the way I see it, from the eyes that I see things now, I just want to just like do my part, like in on this planet to say I made a difference some type of way. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like, do I want to be indoors, and do I want the things that, you know, a person, you know, should have? Yes, yeah, but on a bigger platform, I want to see the man that's laying on the ground next to me, because sometimes, you know, people just go so hard out here, man. You know what I mean? Whether it be for drugs, whether it be for like I don't care. You'll be surprised at the level, like, man, I don't care what happens, and be really meaning it, like, if I die, like, you know what I mean? And I'm pro-life. I want to see somebody live. I don't even like to use the term "I love you to death." I'm like, you know, I mean, so it's made a great difference. This little structure, you know what I mean? It's like, and everybody, like, you know, when boards are like, well, I want a structure too. I want a structure too. You know what I mean? But I think it's a great idea to have an incentive there. You know what I mean? So like, I just like simply like, well, I want to learn how to do this, and at the same time, I want to earn a structure. You know what I mean? And in doing so, like, it felt good. Like, it puts me back in the mode. Is like, you know what I mean? Because there's nothing like, you know, having a meal that you earned, or, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm thankful for, like, the times I've had to eat at places that, you know what I mean, to provide these type of things for people under these circumstances. But it's like, at the end of the day, just to earn, you know, you keep there is a good thing.
And earlier today, probably a lot of you know Reverend Arnold Townsend. We all met together with the guy Moksha who builds these in the dog patch, and so I put it on him saying, can you find us a church for just one parking space where we can try this? And the person who would stay in this, we would create agreements about, you know, site-specific agreements, and also there'd be a community benefit piece. So someone would have to do 10 hours of supporting whatever the business that they're staying at or the neighborhood. So it's this community integration aspect to it. But this is, it takes relationship building, and it takes healing, and I feel like the encampment that you're at, and we try to keep it, he goes by DL, we try to keep it on the DL where this particular encampment is, but it's on a dead-end street that is perfect, you know, really for us to come together and pilot something with Department of of homelessness with with the Department of Public Health, with DPW and SFPD. SFPD has been coming out, and DL told me the other day they came out and said, you know, you guys are going to have to leave sometime. We're going to clean it up here. And so I called the officer, because I actually know her number, and I was able to call her and say, were you saying that you're going to come this next month? Because you guys were starting to feel tension, you know, around like, oh, are we going to have to move out of here? And she said, no, there's no time frame. And then I called DPW and asked, like, you know, what's going, and they said they weren't involved in it. So, but the question is, can this group together, can all of us really put the, you know, I don't even want to put pressure, I just want to speak reason to all of these different departments, and the encampment residents there are willing to step up. And so and people there want to give back. You know, Jeff Sheehy's legislation around the bike chop shops, I've sent him a bunch of, I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but he's proposed legislation to crack down there. If you clamp down on that without creating an outlet for it, it's gonna explode. And so there are people at the encampment that DL is at that have bike skills, that have carpentry skills. They're saying, we want to find a way to give back to the neighborhood. We want to do something that, you know, is above board, and this is what it takes. And right now, this kind of investment might seem like a lot for everyone to kind of change gears and go into, but the thing to keep in mind is that we're spending over $21 million a year on police to just show up, and DPW has almost tripled the amount that they spend right now on encampments because they wait. So this is actually cost effective, and it's humane. And so I would love for this group to actually back this. There's this one encampment that DL is at that I'm working at too. And if we can try to get a pilot project there where we try something different, and if you all want to come out and be part of it too, you know, this is what it's going to take, I think, to really transform this. And I would really love your support by going on the website and checking out what we're doing and getting into it a little bit more.